You have such a great trains and planes. I want it. I want it now. And you are mine. Oh, it is unbelievable that Transport Tycoon was created exactly 30 years ago. At that time, it was one of the best known war strategies, and millions of people spent hours playing it. And after all these years, it's still probably the best transport game out there. By running such an old game without emulators is tricky, so we will take a look at the free community version Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, which is pretty much the same but has some great improvements. The goal of the game is very simple: build buses, tracks, trains, ships and aircrafts. You have to transport materials like wood, oil, coal or iron to the factory or transport residents from the point A to point B. For this, you will earn money and you can expand again and again. Simple. Material producers may increase or decrease mining, so you need to check if it is worth transporting materials from that location. And of course, the bigger city, the more citizens that want to transport to another city or village. And this is all you need to know about principles. And playing the game is also very simple. There are no missions, there are no special objectives. There is nothing that could be considered like rewarding. And this is the biggest downside of the game. When I was young, I liked to create even one train and watch it to go from one place to another and earn some money. If you want to play it in this style and just enjoy the sight of your trains, you will love it. If you expect something more, achieve the objectives, mission, rewards and so on, you will be bored. Every game starts from 1950 to 1975 and lasts until 2050. 1 hour in real life is approximately 5 years in game, so the whole game lasts about 20 hours. After starting, you borrow money and create as many trains as possible. And if you do it the right way, you will quickly earn enough money to build more and more trains and other vehicles. After 10 years, you will probably build everything you can, and after that, you will just renew your tracks, buses, train and so on. And that is not much fun. Fortunately, the game includes a timeline from the past to the future, so you will get newer and faster vehicles. For example, at the beginning, you only have access to steam locomotives, which are very slow and weak. After a few years, you can buy diesel locomotives and even electric locomotives. At the turn of the millennium, you can build new railways, monorails, and in 2024, you can even build maglev trains to keep improving your empire. The only question is whether it is enough to spend 20 hours playing this game. It is always fun to watch movies like Terminator that was made many years ago and the story takes place in the present day. Similarly, in this game, you can see how the designers expected the world to look in 30 years. Well, especially planes look quite different and not like some alien transports. And also monorails or even maglev are not as widespread as the game designers thought, so the actual progress is not so fast. At the beginning of the game, you can choose the type of scenery. You can choose between a temperate, Arctic or subtropical landscape, and as a final option, Toyland. The first three of them are very similar. There is only a small difference that in the Arctic zone there is always snow on the hills, and in the subtropical landscape there are many deserts. There are almost no differences in vehicles and only small differences that are in raw materials that you can transport. For example, in the temperate and Arctic zone, you can transport grain or wood. In the subtropical zone, there is corn or fruit instead. The last one, the toilet is, not just crazy, but also ugly. Your goal is to transport batteries, sugar, candy, and so on, but the worst thing is that the environment is completely confusing and you will get lost in a jumble of colors. Depending on the type of scenery, you choose a specific scenery. There are several pre-made sceneries, or you can download more sceneries from the internet, or you can choose a randomly generated map. You can play the game alone or with computer opponents. Playing alone can be boring, but opponents are annoying. Their artificial intelligence is stupid. They can create transportation between the point 1 and B, but they are unable to find appropriate path. So especially railways are in zigzag fashion, and they absolutely ignore the behavior of the player or other opponents. So they tend to steal transportation of materials because they build transportations from the same mine or forest that you have already done so. So the transported materials are split between you and them. They lose, but so do you. Idiots. The graphics of the game are quite good, even though the game is so old. You just shouldn't zoom in because in that case you will see only huge color dot and the age of the game will be clear. And the music, there are a lot of songs, but they are in the mid format, which is very old and allows only basic sounds to be played, so it would be better to play your own favorite song while playing the game. Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe is a free reincarnation of Transport Tycoon that can be run on the newer operating systems. It also includes many improvements, especially construction of railways is much better. In the original game, you had to build rails one by one. Now you can build multiple rails by dragging the mouse. Or the original game was very strict where you can build rails. Now the landscape can partially adjust itself when you try to place a rail. There are also many options you can set. For example, local authorities don't like when you make terrain changes and can also prevent you from building new stations. This could be annoying, so you can disable this behavior. Or you can choose if you are able to buy another company. So in case you have enough money, you can eliminate competitors. And there is also multiplayer, which was missing in the original game. So what are the pros? Well, it is still the best traffic game ever. It contains many vehicles. It is from the past to the future, and it also has a cool graphic. Well, and what are the cons? So, artificial intelligence is really very stupid. There is boredom after a few hours of playing, and the toilet scenarios are so much crazy. Thank you for watching the video. Next time we will look at the first-person shooter game Viet Cong 2, one of the few games set in the Vietnam War. If you want to watch the review of your favorite game, please leave a comment below this video or on our Facebook page. So bye and see you next time. I hate my opponents. I really hate my opponents. And I'm sorry, but I'm a bad guy.